Not be necessary lah boleh bagi kepada orang yang lebih memerlukan.
A good idea rather than fully waive.
To achieve equity, the subsidies don't have to be equal.
What we are without really going down on the ground.
The people who enjoy that subsidy, most of it is T20 and
the subsidy needs to be rationalised, and the rationalisation, the savings that is realised from the rationalisation can then be channeled to the vulnerable groups.
Kita nak jimatkan dana 4.5 bilion ringgit itu dari golongan maha kaya yang mendapat faedah dan 38 juta rakyat asing supaya dapat dipulangkan kepada rakyat, sama ada melalui pendidikan atau kesihatan ataupun suntikan tunai rahmah.
In Malaysia, subsidies have been supported everyday life, from petrol to electricity, from public transport, cooking oil, chicken, eggs, and other essential goods. However, subsidy spending continued to increase over time, especially that subsidies as petrol is used daily by millions of Malaysians for work, travel, and daily needs. It has been argued that blanket subsidies cause leakage, wasted government spending, and often benefited higher income groups more than low-income households. As fiscal pressure continued to grow, Malaysia began shifting towards targeted subsidies. The goal was clear: reduce leakage, improve efficiency spending, and ensure assistance reaches those who truly need it. Who benefits the most from targeted subsidies? M40, B40, or even T20? And can Malaysia truly balance fiscal sustainability without increasing the burden of the rakyat?
I think depends on timing dengan how much that we get lah. If let's say kalau macam the amount tak banyak, but the time taken untuk you beratur semua tu lama, then may not be necessary lah boleh bagi kepada orang yang lebih memerlukan.
I think ultimately kita nak ensure that the rakyat is treated in an equitable manner. So in order to achieve equity, the subsidies don't have to be equal, but they should be able to help each group with the unique challenges that they face.
If let's say waive all off, I think it's a little bit burden to all the citizens, including me myself. So I think partially reducing the subsidy is a good choice. It helps us to refine our living style, to save the government some monies. So the money, if can be used to improve the road condition and also upgrade the hospital, I think it's a good benefit for all of us as Malaysians. So I think partially reducing or selective reducing of the subsidy could be a good idea rather than fully waive or fully what we call that reduce all the subsidy for all the Malaysians. So selective is a keyword to it. Thank you.
As Malaysia continues its transition towards targeted subsidies, questions on public spending, rising living costs, and welfare protection remain at the centre of national discussions. To understand these issues better, we spoke with Encik Afendi Rashdi, Director General of the Labuan Financial Service Authority (LFSA), and Dr. Nur Ismail, Board Director, Global Service at Zahed Invest and Faculty Lecturer at University Technology Malaysia (UTM).
I also understand from the government perspective, it's hard to find solution that one size fits all. It's impossible. It's not an easy job being a government, I suppose. First, if I were to be given a choice to really do this, we'd need a lot of data.
Yes,
okay?
of course.
I will go on the perspective of multi-dimensional vulnerability assessment. So again, we agree, 34 million population, there's no one size fits all, but to the best of ability, we could actually step in and do this multi-dimensional vulnerable assessment. Because most of the time, we could probably be shocked sendiri.
Betul.
Because we always think who we are, what we are, without really going down on ground and understand. So again, data, Malaysia is moving towards a aging society.
That's good.
So your generation, maybe my generation, you are actually in the middle. This is what we call sandwich generation. You suka ke, tak suka ke, this is where the cost is going to be. You know, yes, you are M40, 7971, tolak sana, tolak sini. And what if you have an elderly mother or elderly parents that you need to take care of?
Yes, that's the thing. Yes.
Yeah,
That's the
so
thing.
that's one. And also while you're building your family, you have kids. Kalau sihat, Alhamdulillah. Kalau sakit demam, okay, still we can bring to clinic 30-40 ringgit. But what happened with a chronic illness? You know, if you go to HKL, for example, ramai budak-budak cancer, Allah Alam, you know, I pray for their speedy recovery and I pray for strength to their parents. But what I'm saying, this is what it is. The caregiving responsibility is also a financial hidden stress apart from, you know, how about the disability status? You know, this is why we need this multi-dimensional vulnerability assessment. Make it very clear. First, again, you know, I'm somebody who believes in data is data fragmentation and targeting inaccuracies. Sebab we don't have the data, they deserve it. So that is a data fragmentation and targeting inaccuracies. One. Second, so we are going to take back to what we've discussed. We're going to go back to what we've discussed earlier. Public perception and trust. Yeah. So boleh percaya ke? Tak percaya ke? Boleh ke? You know, the perception. I mean, by the end of the day, you know, with the social media and stuff like that, whoever make more noise have a better perception. I mean, we have to live with that. And then, thirdly, implementation capacity. So, I mean, tell me what framework yang kita tak ada kat Malaysia ni? Semua ada. Kita ada blueprint, kita ada framework, kita ada semua. Tapi when it comes to implementation, it's always, in all honesty, questionable. You know, I think what they need to do is to take us through the process of the implementation. Maksudnya the traceability, the transparency. Macam mana kita buat step one, berapa kita orang dah bagi. So, you know, bila kita tahu, kita tak nervous. Bila kita tak nervous, it build trust. Because by the end of the day, we're going to go back to the second number two, the perception and trust. So, this, in all honesty, bukanlah jadi dekat Malaysia sahaja. You can see there's a case study in Indonesia and in India. So, kita punya success of the targeted subsidy depends not only on economic logic. Tak mungkin economic sahaja. It's also, you know, like we discussed just now, governance quality, transparency, and citizen confidence. Yeah.
Targeted subsidy for me is very critical. If the government is really frank and very sincere, they have to implement this, because this is the structural reforms that we needed years and years ago. Unless we are also thinking on the revenue side. As I said, the revenue has remained stagnant because we abolished GST back in 2018. So with replaced with SST, that has resulted a loss of revenue about 20 billion. So the capacity for us to give subsidy is lesser. So it means that then the targeted subsidy is more and more relevant in this context, and the government has to be frank to the people, because we are I think based on the studies, we are the population with the most subsidy in the world in terms of our diesel. I think this is something that we need to educate the rakyat, because if not, if politicians promise everything under the sun, now what they said they couldn't implement, because I think that is something which is not the case. And I know that I think besides the targeted subsidy, there are some other element, but I think we need to be cautious. Our behavior should also change. The behavior of people should also change. It's not as cheap as before, because people in other areas will have an alternative transportation. They use public transport. They use all other alternatives to make sure that in terms of usage of energy is, especially oil, are limited. But I think this is something that we need to do together. And I think for me, policy consistency is very critical and important. Since we have that policy now, we should implement and continuously, and hopefully the government, whoever the government is, really look into the target, because for me the subsidy should be given to people who really needs the subsidy, rather than it's a blanket subsidy. For me is the subsidy that we have given, the 1.99 to all. I think for me, that targeted subsidy, while there are targeted subsidy, I think for me, frankly, for the T20, subject to certain definition of T20, they should be enjoying that subsidy, because I think blanket subsidy, because they have I think there are some observation where the people who enjoy that subsidy, most of it is T20 and above, because they have the most car, they have the most expensive, luxurious vehicles that use a lot of oil, which is being subsidized to the government. And for me personally, that would be something that we really need to look at. I know that people who are at T20 category said that they are the highest taxpayer, but I think that's beside of it. But for me, people who are T10 or T1 shouldn't be enjoying even the 200 liters allocation that they have now. If they have 7 kids, that means that 7 times 200 liters, which is for me is ridiculous for them to enjoy that benefit. And I hope that the government will look into it. I know that they have a lot of data to look at it, and I think based on the data, for me, they should look into that data and would easily identify people who have that certain salary range shouldn't be enjoying even the 200 liters that they have now per person. So I hope that they only be given to people who really need it. And in this case, we mentioned about B40. I know that there are some T20 who are after getting the net salary is not as wealthy as people who are really have that money. But I think something has to be done for this type of category where people at T20 or T10 shouldn't be enjoying the subsidy, because as I said, people in this category would enjoy the most benefit because they are using this type of subsidy. So I think that's my take on it.
For many ordinary Malaysians, every increase in fuel prices, operating costs and daily expenses brings new challenges to how they work, spend and survive. Malaysia's subsidies transformation is not just about economics. It is about sacrifice, trust and whether public assistance can truly reach those who need it most, without leaving others behind. As Malaysians move from blanket subsidies to targeted assistance, the challenge is not just about reducing spending, but building a fair, sustainable and trusted system.
Well done to whoever that, your lecturers or whoever choosing this topic. It's pretty much very relevant.
Always be a proud alumni of UITM, and I think would like to cooperate more with all the students here, especially in